It's the Great Content Shift, and it is the 2012 NAB show. Hello again, everyone. I'm Tyler Pyburn of the Pulse Network, here having a conversation really leading up to the 2012 NAB show with Michael Payne, Managing Director at Vislink. And Michael, one of the things that's interesting right now is that there's obviously tons of shifts taking place, whether it be shift in technology, shift in expectations, but the shift in players is one of the interesting ones from both ends.
Yes.
But from the player side of the consumers, there's a lot more out there because, well, every company now has almost become a media company in a standpoint, haven't they?
Yes, they have very much. We sort of kind of classify that as kind of the niche broadcasting, and and it's partly competing with the mainstream broadcasters of old, but also complementing them in the sense that it's just that much easier now, or that much more desire, perhaps to say it a little differently, for for localized content, and that's created sort of this sort of new market, if you will, of people who feel like they have something to say and to promote.
It can be literally from the man off the street, but it also goes all the way up to, I'm sure you guys work with it as well, people like in the military, like in the Navy, and state police as well, that they're all kind of broadcasting in a standpoint, but sometimes internally.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great way to kind of sort of verbalize it. In fact, that's sort of our market approach too, is so we talk about E&G on the broadcast side, but at the end of the day, electronic news gathering and the model for electronic news gathering is the same for covert and overt surveillance. Sometimes the helicopter asset, in this, for airborne is doing news gathering, and other times it's doing overt surveillance. But essentially, the mechanisms and all of this is there's a very close sort of match with exactly how the broadcasters get along on a regular basis. Yeah.
Now, what about from going back to the little guy on the totem pole, the smallest ones? How has that really affected it?
So I think the fact that your production costs, essentially the costs that are required to get your signals or your video or your audio out to the masses, the cost of doing that now is so much lower. So that is really the driver, I think, in my mind, or in our minds, that is really an enabler. It's just an enabler for a much broader market now. So we see that as a very sort of exciting dynamic and obviously for us as a supplier, we see our market therefore getting larger. Our addressable market is now large. There's a finite number of television stations, say 12 to 1,500 that need our kind of service and solutions. But now you've got maybe 2 or 3 times that, in terms of the size of the market for some of these other
It is
elements.
No longer just your news stations. I think that's the easiest way to put it.
I totally, it's very targeted now, and it's not just basic news or general news, it's much more targeted to the consumer's desires and general and specific interests.
Yeah, it's that niche focus. For Michael Payne, I am Tyler Pyburn of the Pulse Network. This has been another Spotlight on the 2012 NAB show.